Do you love teaching but have always wanted to know how to reach more people and get paid more per hour? Then this episode is for you. We meet Stefy. She flew all the way from London to talk to us about how to become a teacher entrepreneur. She has been through the process herself, and now she guides and coaches other people to allow them to have more freedom and more income while still loving and enjoying being a teacher online.
Welcome, Stefy Vatslavicova.
Thank you.
And you flew in all the way from London to be here today?
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
so
I
excited.
came all the way from London to be here today with you. And I want to say something in Norwegian. Veldig glad å være her. I practiced it for some time.
I love the fact that you practice it in Norwegian sentence on an English podcast.
Yeah.
But it's really great for all the hostess, for the host country, because we are recording in Halden, Norway.
Mm-hmm.
And have you been here before?
Never. It's my first time and I really love this small town. I like Oslo as well, but this is even a more niche town. So I really like it.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
I like the way you just got the word niche in there.
Yeah.
Because what you actually do is to empower teachers to become teacher entrepreneurs, which is helping them to learn about niche teaching.
Exactly.
Can you please explain what that is for people that have never heard about that before?
So niche teaching, for me to explain it really well, I'm going to make a comparison with general English teaching so that will be better explained. As a niche teacher, you focus on the specific problems of your niche students and you are with them all the time and help them implement it so that they get results. As a general English teacher, you focus on English as a language. And usually we know people don't learn English for the sake of just learning English. They learn English, for example, to get a promotion or to get better relationships with their colleagues, with their clients. And that's the reason why niche teachers are better at bringing results to their students than
And
general
does that
English
mean they are
teachers.
better paid?
Yes, of course, that means that as well. So, as I said, as a niche teacher, you take your student the whole way, like from the beginning till the end until they get results. So, you teach them what to know and then how to implement it. As a general English teacher, you just take them halfway. So you just tell them what to know, but then they have to, in a way, figure out how to implement it in their own life on their own terms.
Okay.
And because of that, general English teachers earn maybe twice less, and niche teachers twice, 3 times, 4 times, or even 5 times more. So that's the reason. And
How you paid?
yes, because as a general English teacher, you're a generalist, and as a niche teacher, you are a specialist. So you are the one. Whereas when you're a general English teacher, you're one of many. And so that's the main kind of difference between being a general English teacher and a niche teacher.
Okay. You mentioned general English teacher a lot, but can this apply to other types of other subjects? Either like you be a generalist or a specialist.
Yes.
So I just want to ask this so that nobody feels that, if I don't teach English, it doesn't apply to me.
Yes. I just give a specific example, and this is because we focus specifically on teachers who teach English as a second language to their students, to learners of English language. But you can do it equally with French, with any other languages, with German, with languages, or even with other subjects. And the principles are actually applied everywhere, even like to restaurants. You have a niche restaurant, or boutiques, you have a niche boutique.
And you're going to pay more for that meal.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Or you have a GP, general practitioner, or you have a neuro surgeon or heart surgeon. So, yes.
Exactly. I'll be very worried if my neurosurgeon was paid the same amount as my GP. I wouldn't think that they're any good at their job there.
I don't think so. No.
So, but you sound very passionate about this when you're talking about it. So what is your whole background story? And what was your aha moment when you decided, I want to teach people how to make more money as teachers?
Yes, so first I will explain my love for teaching and then how I became a teacher entrepreneur. And maybe later I will explain how I became a growth coach for teachers who want to become teacher entrepreneurs.
I love that, a growth coach for teachers.
So I love teaching since I was a very little. I was teaching my siblings and all the children from the neighborhood They didn't really like me because they wanted to have their free time and I was trying to teach them. So I was really like this. And even during my teenage years, I loved teaching. But somehow, for some reason, I decided to go for interpreting. So to do English and Slovak, I was studying these languages and how to interpret from one language to another. But I still was prone to explore, what it would be like to teach, because I didn't get qualification back then in uni. And I started to teach without qualification, and I enjoyed it so much. And I saw how much kind of impact I brought to students' lives. And I was wondering what it would be like if I really got qualified and if I took it seriously. Because back then I was paid like €8 per hour, which is not a lot, as a teacher. And I felt like if I get a qualification, I will be better paid, I'll make even more impact, and I will be more qualified. So I decided to go for CELTA, which is a very good teaching qualification for teachers who want to teach English as a second language to adults. And I decided to go to Cambridge at Bell School to do it there. And, I was just over the moon. It was like a honey period of somebody who's just being qualified to be a teacher with this kind of idea or vision. It will be so good, so easy then to teach, to earn more money, to make a lot of impact. And with this drive, with this energy, I went to London, because London for me was like a city of prestige, prosperity, respect. And I felt like that's how I will be as a teacher. So I came there and...
With your papers and your qualifications.
Exactly.
And your enthusiasm.
And with one suitcase.
And one suitcase.
Yes, but that qualification was very important. I had it, like literally I was holding it all the time because it was very special to me. And the reality was quite the opposite.
Okay, in which way? Always.
Yeah, so I was not paid what I imagined I would be paid. I will be very specific because I think maybe many teachers can relate to this. I got paid $12.50 per hour in pounds, and that was my hourly rate. And when I tried to ask, like, when would I get a raise, pay raise, they told me you have to be at least 1 year more with us to get $13.50, so £1 more.
1 year to get £1 more.
At least, and then they will consider it then. So this was one thing, but let's just put money aside. There was another aspect, because I'm a non-native English speaker, non-native English teacher, and not everybody has this understanding that actually you don't have to be a native English teacher for you to be a good teacher. So I was quite discriminated against, even by students. Some students were not as happy to have me in the classroom.
They're like,
and school directors as well, exactly. So... Not always. There were some of them who were very grateful and happy. And I guess it wasn't helping with my confidence. And the third very important aspect, because I really care about students. When I was caring about them a lot. And I wanted to make as much impact on their lives with my English help as possible. However, it wasn't really that, because when you are a general English teacher, and when you have even more students in one class, and let's say there is one accountant, one doctor, one student, one just person who came to the country, they all have different needs. So even if I try to make everybody happy and really bring some results to their life, I didn't bring really specific results for everyone. So that was in the group setting. And in a one-on-one setting, if I wanted to really bring great results to their lives, to their language, skills, communication skills, I would have to be an expert in all their areas. So I couldn't just switch from, teaching doctors to teaching software engineers, then to teaching nurses. So it was hard for me to make everybody happy and to make that impact that I wanted to make. And it was really not easy. It was a hard period then. I felt like the honeymoon was over, definitely. And I knew I didn't feel respected, prestigious, and prosperous at all. And one thing I knew is that I need to change something. Like, it cannot continue like this, and I'm sure there is a way. And I was looking for that way, like, what can I do? How can I teach to earn more respect and money?
Can I ask you a question there? Because the feelings that you're mentioning now, I feel a lot of teachers feel at some point.
Yeah.
Whether you're teaching primary school, high school, mathematics, or a little bit of each thing. Like you say, you feel opposites of respected as disrespected or overwhelmed or underappreciated or not able, or disappointed also, because you're not able to make that effect that you imagined you'll be able to make in people's lives and to bring them to the level that you believe that they can be. And then they come to the point where I actually heard some teachers saying this, like, I'm actually thinking of giving up my job, of stopping to teach and to go and do something else. Did that thought ever pass through your mind?
Yeah, 100%, many times.
And then what did you do?
So then what happened? Actually, before that happened, I was deciding what to do next, like which way to go. But this waiting time, because it took months to decide, I just couldn't make the decision like where to go, where to start. It really cost me a lot in terms of my self-image. At some point, I felt like the word teacher was an insult for me. And I felt really...
People can relate.
Really bad about it, that I even thought that way. I felt kind of guilty, like I shouldn't feel this way about it. So
if someone asks you, like, what do you do?
I was a teacher. I tried to lie. I tried to change the topic and really listen to them about what do you do? You know, or like I was like saying it very quietly at some point. Yeah, because many people ask me, what do you do? And if I said a teacher, oh, okay. So do you come here very often? You know, they changed the topic. Like it wasn't as interesting.
Or you just like do a kick curveball there.
Yeah. So that was how I felt. And then what happened? To my advantage, there was a blessing in disguise, and it was COVID. COVID came.
Okay, that's the first time I heard that. That was a blessing in disguise.
That was the
so
best
this
thing that
is
could
going to
happen
be
to me.
interesting.
I know it was is a sensitive topic for many people because many people...
Yeah, but I love that you're saying that it's a blessing in disguise, because people always say like, and then COVID happened. Oh my God, and then everything went to shit. So it's good to hear a different version.
And the best thing that could happen, I got fired. But as a teacher, you don't really
love
save
your
a lot of money.
positivity.
You have to use your perception to change, you know, how you see things. So I was left with money to survive for 1 or 2 months in London. The situation was very serious, right? I didn't want to go back and live with my parents. You know, you don't want that after, you know, some time. So I knew I had to do something to find a proper job where I earn money and when I just am okay again. So what I was doing, because teaching was something I knew how to do, I was good at it. I was looking for different jobs at language platforms or even other, you know, public schools. And what I saw on the language platforms like italki, Verbling, and, you know, these language platforms where students look for their teachers online. And there were a lot of teachers, it was oversaturated because of the COVID. And what they did, naturally, they went down with the prices. So you could get 1 hour with a teacher for €5 or even 3. And I was like, oh, wow. And I was charging at the time $12.50 or $15 to my private students. And I asked my friend, like, what shall I do? And he said, you should go down with the price. And I said, how much more down I can go? Like then 15. And I was not very happy with this. I knew that I want the opposite. I want to charge more, not less. And I just didn't know how. So I was applying for different jobs. But then what happened, I got a message on LinkedIn because, you know, what do you do when you don't have a job? You go on LinkedIn and you say,
sit on LinkedIn for like 3 hours a day,
or even
liking
more.
and commenting
I had
people's
all day
stuff.
for that. I had, like, literally, I was unemployed. I spent a lot of time on my LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And one day something happened. I got a message from James. And in that message was, would you like to go independent and charge over $100 per hour as a teacher entrepreneur? Oh, I was like,
ding,
what?
Ding, ding, ding.
What?
Did you think it was a scam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yes and no. Something was telling me, this is, well, I mean, too good to be true, but something felt right about this message. But of course, it wasn't like, oh, wow, yes, it's possible. I didn't feel that way, especially when you look at the external circumstance and you see everybody's charging 15, 10 per hour. Like, how can you charge 100?
Exactly.
So,
and who's going to be paying $100
So
an hour when they can get it for $3?
Yeah, exactly. So I told it to my friend, like, look, there is someone who is saying I can earn 100 per hour and more. And he said, well, if you are going to charge that as a teacher, I'm going to eat that fork. And he was eating at that time. So I was discouraged, of course, by that comment, but I didn't let it discourage me completely. So what I did, I started to read an ebook, which was actually about niche teaching from James, from the same person who sent this message to me. And this niche teaching was explained there, what it is, how it can help you, how you can charge more, how you can be more respected, how you can make more impact. And I started reading that ebook 3 times. It was just 75 pages, so it took me 1 hour and a half. And since I had like all day for that, I was reading it 3 times. I really don't know what exactly was in that book because I didn't change anything in my teaching technique or method or strategy. I just understood I can be worth more as a teacher. So I felt more confident just by reading that book about my teaching skills. And then when one school got back to me, because I applied for many jobs, like 100 or something, and they asked me, so what is your hourly rate? It was like summer school, just to teach them on Saturdays. And I said 30 euros per hour. So I doubled my income just by reading that ebook. And part of me was like thinking they may say no. And they said, okay, we will give you 3 hours every Saturday.
Now, you're really onto something there.
But I didn't change anything, Laverne. It was just...
You didn't change anything, but you did change the way you felt about your value and what you offer.
It was like a miracle for me.
Yes, because when you change our vibrations about something, then the world responds to that. And it sounds so cliched to say that. Like every second YouTube video is talking about that. But it is like magic when it happens in real life.
Exactly. So, and when I felt like this was the magic, I want more of this magic. So I was like, what else can I do here? Like, I want to understand what is this niche teaching about. So there was this 21-day teacher entrepreneur challenge. That was kind of not part of the ebook, but it was like the next stage. If you really like these principles, if you would like to be a niche teacher entrepreneur, join this 21-day teacher entrepreneur challenge. So I did in July 2020. And that's where I became a niche teacher entrepreneur. And I often say my life before and after 21-day teacher entrepreneur challenge. So that's how I became a teacher entrepreneur.
And today you're coaching other teachers through that journey.
Yes. So I became a teacher entrepreneur. My niche was psychologists who wanted to improve their communication skills with their clients in the therapy sessions. So that was my niche and I was helping them. But it wasn't easy for me at the beginning, although by luck and maybe by this momentum I still had it in me, I got my first 3 clients within the 6 weeks after I started the challenge, and I was charging 50 per hour and more. So that was already even more. And that was like being lucky again, having this momentum. But then I had kind of hard time the next 4 months when I couldn't really, convert many clients because of my mindset. I still didn't see myself as somebody who is worth, charging even more and get more clients. So I did have a lot of challenges, and these challenges taught me very important lessons in terms of mindset, how I had to see myself.
I'm gonna stop you over there and ask you a couple of questions, because your journey, it's when you're telling our story after it's happened, it sounds very easy, but what you're describing is actually quite difficult. Because my mom, I'm very passionate about this topic, and I want to tell you why. It's because my mom worked in a jewelry store and a clothing store, and she became the manager for years and years and years. But in her heart, she was like you, like that little girl that always wanted to be a teacher. But growing up during apartheid in South Africa, it was very difficult because of the education system and stuff like that. Anyway, fast forward to when she was 40 years old. She went to school, got a qualification, certifications, and now she teaches adults like you do. She's become a niche teacher where she's taken all her years of experience in sales and marketing and customer service, and she actually writes the curriculums and does everything. Ended up being that all of her sisters did the same thing, all left their jobs and became niche teachers. Even my cousins have joined in now. I think I've got a family of about 10 niche teachers just from my mom's side of the family. And it really changed their life because they were able to earn so much more money for less amounts of work.
Wow.
And make a bigger difference and work with people one-to-one by focusing on what they're really good at and what they have experience at. So that's why I'm so happy you could come today, because what you're talking about is not just talk. I've seen the difference it makes in people's lives. But a lot of the time, I feel like they need someone to guide them through the process. Because when you're a teacher, no matter what you're teaching, and you have a group of people in front of you, that is real life. That's you can see people's faces and body language. to then have to go to be in front of a camera alone is terrifying for 80% of people, especially women. You know, I've been asking my mom the same thing. I remember when she had to transition to online teaching during COVID. It was such like, oh my God, look at me. Oh my God, I want to do that. Oh my God, like all these insecurities, you know, come up, and for some people it can be very, very difficult. So, what advice do you give those teachers that suffer with that? How can they transition to being comfortable being online, to be comfortable with teaching people that you don't see face to face?
Yes, that's a very good question. And I would say, as a teacher, you're just wearing one hat. You're a teacher. When you become a teacher entrepreneur, you start wearing 3 hats. You're a teacher, marketer, and seller. Three different roles. So it's overwhelming. It's difficult, especially if you've never been posting on social media or been on camera, as you said, or even you have never sold anything because the school just gave you students. You just came to the class and you were teaching. So it is overwhelming and it is challenging, of course. And that's why I said it did take me some time to really understand what is this entrepreneurship about, and what I need to learn when it comes to my selling, methods, my sales, my marketing, and even niche teaching, because that's more specific than just teaching, so that I can be getting consistent clients every month. A lot of things I had to learn. So as I said, 15 strategy sessions, I failed in a way, like I didn't convert them into being my students or my clients. And it was just because of my not the right approach in those strategy sessions, and I didn't have this confidence. And then for 4 or 5 months, I was really trying to understand what was happening there, and really even asking.
Can you explain what a strategy session is?
Strategy session is when you sell or when you present your offer to your potential student. Mm-hmm. So they come like consultation session. It's a free one. They are deciding if they want to work with you, if you have the offer that will bring them results, So that's a strategy session. And I had 15 at least, and I didn't sell any as a teacher entrepreneur after having 3 clients in the first place, but then I didn't. Because the reason why I wanted, why it happened, there were many reasons, but one of them, I badly wanted to quit because in the meantime, I had a full-time job in a secondary school because I applied for many things. So they took me in the meantime. And I just wanted to really quit that job and just be an entrepreneur. But then what I was doing in those strategy sessions, in those consultation sessions, I was kind of pushing those clients or students, we call them clients, but they can be called students, to buy from me. So the energy was not right. Although I knew I wanted to help them, but I knew I needed money if I wanted to, quit my full-time job and be in entrepreneurship. So it was not the right energy. And it took me at least 4 months to understand you want to help the person, empower them, and the money will come as part of it, not the money first and then you empower the person. And then when I understood this lesson, it took me at least 4 months. I got 3 clients in one day.
Oh,
charging
wow.
them
That's amazing.
80 per hour. So
because of the shift
Because of the shift again. It was the mindset shift. It took me 4 months. And then I understood, okay, if you ask me what is the moment you are the most proud of or like the biggest success in your journey as a teacher entrepreneur, I wouldn't even tell it was when I got my first client that I charged 100 per hour. But I would say it is when I didn't get any client in 4 months and I still had faith in this.
And
to be an entrepreneur.
What do you look towards to have that faith?
So I am a believer. That's one thing. And another one is I understand how important faith is, because you can either have fear or faith. And you have faith in something you cannot see. So I didn't see those clients, right? And that's faith. When you have faith in something you cannot see, you can have equal fear, which I had before, right? But then I understood it's about faith, that I will be successful, I will charge 100 per hour, and I will have consistent clients. And just kind of nurturing that faith and me being faithful in this way, I was able to get to that stage where I could get 3 clients in one day. That's pretty good, right? That doesn't happen very often.
That's amazing.
And then there were other moments and I understood okay, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not giving up just because I don't get results today or tomorrow or next month or month after. But to be honest, it was very helpful to have this full-time job because I understood, okay, I'm not going to rush it. I'm going to stay as long as I need so that I have this smooth transition. So I stayed there for 16 months.
That's very important that you're mentioning that because I'm a bit worried. A lot of when you look online, there's like become a coach in 30 days, make your first $10,000 in the next 7 days, quit your job. And I was like, no. This is not what we are telling people to do. This is not what we're telling teachers to do, because I don't want them to feel like there's an option of either have to be a normal teacher or a niche teacher. So explain to us, can you walk us through what the transition would be like from going from the one to the other or combining the two?
Okay, so I will give you different examples, but we don't recommend people to quit their full-time jobs or part-time jobs when they start exploring this entrepreneurship. There have been cases where people quit their full-time job, part-time job, and they just got really quick results and really consistent results, but there are more exceptions. And there were some people who quit their job and then they struggled a lot, and then they quit entrepreneurship as well and had to look for a job again because they thought they would get money straight away. But that's a freelancer mindset, not entrepreneurial mindset. When as a freelancer, you do a job, you get money on the same day or the next day when you finish your project. As an entrepreneur, you invest a lot of time, energy, money as well, but not in this case as much money, to see results later, not straight away. So in this case, we don't recommend anyone to just quit your job and trust you will get the money in the first month or second month. But again, there have been people who did do that and they were successful. But the best way would be to keep continuing in your full-time job, part-time job, unless you feel really comfortable and confident that I can replace my full-time job income with my entrepreneurial income. Again, in some cases, it takes 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year. It took me 16 months. I was slower. I took my time and I didn't want to rush it. It doesn't have to be that long for anyone. But I think just being confident that, yes, now I can replace my income, it's helpful. And then transition when you feel you can do that.
Okay. And what services do you offer to help people in this transition?
So from being a teacher to teacher entrepreneur, at Bowie, the company that I work in together with James and our team, we help them. This is this ebook I mentioned about niche teaching. They have to read the ebook first, if it even resonates with them, if that's something they want to be doing. And when they decide, yes.
You mentioned ebook, but what is it about?
The ebook explains what is niche teaching about, what are the benefits of niche teaching, how you can present your services, your offer to your potential students, how you can even identify what your potential students could be, like your niche. That's potential students. And basically these principles explained. So it gives you quite practical tips.
Tips and a good introduction to how to just start thinking and prepare your mindset.
Exactly, like a warm up.
Yeah.
And if people say, this sounds good, I want to know more. So then they are invited in our 21-day Teacher Entrepreneur Challenge, where actually we have more goals for this 21-day Teacher Entrepreneur Challenge, but the first one is, do you even want to be a teacher entrepreneur? So you will explore it there. And by the end of 20 days, so it's like 21 days it takes, if you want to be one or not. I'm not saying you're already a confident one and you can get consistent clients every single month, but yes, this is what I want to be doing, and I know what my first steps should be to have the foundation for my niche teaching business and to get the proof of concept. It means like, yes, I have confidence this business is working. So that's what we'll give them in this 21-day challenge. Okay. And I can be more specific.
And to sort of manage their expectations.
Yes.
So how did your lives change? So you were feeling in the beginning like you didn't have the respect. You were losing your passion for something you always dreamt of doing since you were a little girl. And then you finally got to that first $100 an hour clients and 3 clients in one day. How did you feel about yourself, and how did you feel about the whole world of teaching then?
So again, it took some time. So it wasn't the first day, after I did the 21-day challenge. I just felt respected, prestigious, prosperous. something that I never felt before as a teacher, although I enjoyed my job and I have a nice, beautiful moments. But there was that feeling that somebody is paying you 100 per hour to learn how to be better in their communication skills in English. And they write you a nice recommendation. They even, send you messages when they had their presentation, how proud they feel of themselves, or how better they feel now when they pronounce some words so that their colleagues don't laugh at them. When you get these kind of messages, you just feel happy that you helped somebody else and you feel respected, because when you earn more per hour, you have a better lifestyle. When you have a better lifestyle, you can better serve a client because you can take care of yourself better. You can have a better,
so
work-life
do you
balance.
take care of yourself better, and
Much
do you have
better.
a better lifestyle?
Much better. Yes, much better, definitely. But that was journey as well. So I am quite good at going from one extreme to another. I don't know if you know that. You ask, how is the transition? So the transition is, it takes some time again, and you need to work maybe a little bit longer at the beginning, like longer because you have your full-time job and then you are learning about this entrepreneurial, teaching business. So you end working longer hours. So I had a few months where I worked 10 to 12 hours.
Okay.
I'm not saying everybody is like that. I just work those 10 to 12
No,
hours.
but I'm glad you bring that up, because that's a
Yeah.
bit more realistic. And
Yeah.
what advice would you give to teachers that are going to be worried now? I'm working full-time as a teacher. I'm still building up this side gig. What if my boss finds out? Or what if my colleagues find out? How do they manage this one foot in
Yeah.
two worlds?
So there are two things. One thing is how they can manage, how can you manage your time? So it's really about time management and focus. You can manage it. I did manage it, and many other teacher entrepreneurs, hundreds of them. You just need to plan your day better. And then you can see it is manageable. I'm not saying it's the easier part of your life, or you really have a lot of time to yourself, but you can manage that part if you plan your day well and you see what are the most important tasks you need to do on the day. And when it comes to telling it to everybody else around you, I'm like that. Everybody knew what I was doing straight away. I
I'm
don't
also
like to
the
keep it
same.
quiet. But there are people who cannot change their LinkedIn, let's say, profile because they work on in a company and they don't allow them to change it because
at
they
a
could get into
school.
trouble. Yes. So depending, some of them it's okay, they can do it. Some of them they can't. But there are ways how you can still look for potential clients or students and not really change everything on your LinkedIn profile. So there are ways that we teach in the 21-day challenge. And then when you feel comfortable, yes, I want to transition, you fully adapt your profile. So depending in what circumstances you are, I couldn't lose anything anyway. I was unemployed when I started this, so I was just happy I found something that I was excited about. So I was speaking out loud, even though everyone about it.
And it feels exciting when you get to
Yeah.
learn something new and you feel like, oh, someone's finally made a product or a service that actually helps me to get to what I want to do.
Yeah. But what I wanted to say as well, about this lifestyle, because you asked me, so how is your life different now or after?
Yeah.
So there was one extreme. I was working 10 to 12 hours for a few months. But still, I was enjoying it, but it was hard on some days, really hard. And then I went to another extreme. I understood it's important is work and life balance. And I started exploring it. And I ended up going to, jacuzzi every day and spending all my days in sauna and, doing Zumba, aqua, whatever you can imagine.
You
And
definitely are an extremist.
And there was another extreme. That was not good either.
Yeah.
Because I lost focus a little bit. And it's I had to look for my own balance every day. I'm not saying I have it even today. And I don't think it's something you reach and you are there for the rest of your life. You have to look for it every day, every week. So that's what I'm still
I definitely
learning.
agree. And my star sign is Libra, which is the scale.
Yeah.
And the misconception is that I have balance, which is absolutely not true. I'm also an extremist like you. It's from the one straight to the other and then trying to find a middle ground again. And then middle ground's too boring. Let's go the other way. And then it's like this again. But I'm glad you bring that up, because I always get the impressions that teachers are so super organized and well balanced and well structured. All that type of stuff.
Some of them are.
Some of them
Not
are.
me, but I'm learning the principles of sustainable entrepreneurship, to how really, even if I have some days when I really have to work still 10 hours, I do have those days. But then I have days when I can just go to Norway for 2 days and I don't have to work, or to Paris for 2 days
And come on a podcast.
and during the week, exactly. So I need to know how to balance, or if I was really busy for a few days, then I have to have completely 2 days off So to know that balance, I already know my body, my mind better. And I guess this understanding of who you are, how your mind works, how your body works, when you already know it's too much, you should take a break. Or when you know, I'm not focused at all, I should focus more. And then finding that balance. And I think this is one of the things that many teacher entrepreneurs find challenging or they struggle with, to have this work-life balance, especially at the beginning when they are transitioning.
And what about when you teach, say, and you work in a school, there's a structure. You have your syllabus done for you. You have your set holidays. You have your start time. You have the breaks. You have your end time. How do you help teachers that might struggle to suddenly now have to decide and manage all of their schedule and time themselves for themselves?
Yes. So that's exactly one of the challenges of this transition, because you were an employee and now you're an entrepreneur. So you are boss of your own time, of yourself, and you need to manage your time, your schedule, your priorities. It's possible to learn it. So that's what we empower them to do, and we teach them, we train them how they can do it, how they can set priorities for each day or for each week, what they have to do, and follow, those priorities. So yes, it does take some time, but it's possible to learn it and to really train your brain, like, this is my priority, this is what I have to do, and the rest can be done later. And what is very important as well, what I wanted to say, a lot of teachers, teacher entrepreneurs, and including myself in the past, I went into displeasure quite often when I didn't get the results I wanted. Let's say I didn't get the client I wanted, or I didn't get as many maybe likes or engagement under my post, or when I didn't get all the tasks done on my list. And I went like, oh, I'm not doing it properly, I'm not kind of good enough in following my tasks or whatever I needed to do. And I learned, I'm still learning, but I've learned how to praise myself for everything that is bringing me closer to my big vision, my big worthy goal. And this is like, it's a small thing you would say, but we all know this, but we don't do it. I knew it, but I didn't do it. Now, when I do it, or even those days when I mess up,
give me an example of what you mean. Give me an example of something that you've done, and then how you praised yourself afterwards.
Yes. So, for example, let's say I had a live event with my clients or with potential clients, like live events, a webinar where I explain about teacher entrepreneurship, and then I mess up with something, like I just don't say it correctly, or I push them too much, or I don't encourage them enough, to do something, and you could go very easily in this state of displeasure. But what I do, I see, what is this teaching me? Okay, like how I can do it better next time. Or maybe by me not, or pushing them a lot or not pushing them enough, it says something about me, how I am at this moment as a person. So what can I learn from this? Another thing, what I just wanted to say, like and this is a case for many teacher entrepreneurs, that they don't, let's say they don't get a lot of likes or engagement under their posts, and they think like, okay, I'm not meant to be a teacher entrepreneur, this is not for me, people don't really follow, what I'm doing. And we just teach them how they can be saying it differently, to say like, okay, this was my first post or second or third post. I cannot expect now to have like 100 likes or like comments under this post, or like, to make them think like, how can I improve this post or every post to be even better? Or what can I learn more about my niche to make another one?
So you are helping them set up their structure, because they're losing the structure from the normal day. And you are helping them to transition to being comfortable with being more visible online.
Yeah.
That is a big, big, big step. Because as a teacher, you think that they would be comfortable with it because you're in front of people and teaching them. But there's something that's different when it comes to actually putting yourself out there. And this is the reason why I'm doing this whole podcast and creating the platform, so that people sort of feel a bit more comfortable in the question-answer scenario. And have you met some teachers that were just like, you know what, no ways, I can't do it. I cannot manage this marketing of myself part.
Many.
Many.
And it's fine. So there are two things I want to say here.
Yeah.
There are teachers who know, I don't want to be a teacher entrepreneur. They know it straight away. I just want to teach and be in the classroom. And I respect them, and I'm really happy for them because they are clear about what I want, what I don't want. Who I'm concerned about is those teachers who are not happy where they are, they complain, who are wondering what it would be like to go independent, to be an entrepreneur, but they never take the decision. They are always waiting for the next train, or for Godot, as Samuel Beckett would say it. They're just waiting for something, for someone to help them, but they don't know what it is. So they are just wondering, and kind of this costs them time. This is expensive. This waiting is expensive, right? And they don't take any step, kind of like, or like they are not happy in teaching, but at the same time on entrepreneurship. So I would say for these people, it's really important to try. So they try teaching. They are not that happy there for some reasons. So try entrepreneurship. It doesn't mean you have to be an entrepreneur, but just try it for 21 days. Like that's what we do, or whatever, for 1 month, try it. If you don't like it, the worst thing that can happen, you will just go back to the classroom, but you will know this is not for me. So that's one thing. Okay. So if they try it at least, and then they decide what they want to do, but then you ask another thing, if they don't feel comfortable with marketing or be on social media, that's being having fear, being scared, and being uncomfortable, which is normal because you are changing. This is not just about changing career. You're changing everything in your life, and you're going for something big, because this is usually a very big thing for many people, this transformational process. And you cannot grow if it's not, you can grow, but usually it's uncomfortable. You feel uncomfortable or even scared or nervous when you are growing. So I would just, encourage those people to really be happy when they feel afraid or scared, because that means their goal, what they want, is on the other side of this fear wall or whatever it is. It's normal to be afraid. I feel uncomfortable so many times still in different settings, but when I'm nervous and uncomfortable, I know, okay, I'm in the good place.
I hope you're not nervous now.
Yes, I was.
No, that's good. I have this, it's the same challenge that many people have. And the funny thing is, I've noticed the smarter the person, the more educated they are, and the more experience they have, the greater their fear to mess up online is. Because these are people that are high achievers. They have such high expectations for themselves. They've always been good, and they find it very difficult to accept that they're going to start out really bad when you're marketing yourself. And a lot of them can't overcome the hurdle because you're just always used to being good. If I just study hard enough, I should be good. But marketing yourself is not something you can just study. It's learning by doing. You have to make the live video. You have to mess up the words. You have to have your wrong lighting or have lipstick on your teeth or something. And then you're going to learn how to do it. So the tip I always give to them is when they're thinking that fear and feeling the fear, it's because you're thinking about yourself. Right? I'm thinking about myself, and I'm thinking about how I look and how I'm coming across and how I'm seeing me. Same thing, I've been coaching my mother on this. But when you think about, okay, this person, for example, if I need to talk about, oh yeah, I'm going to be having a talk show and I just love presenting women and I just love making people grow and it's I, then I become more self-conscious. But if I say like, if you are a teacher and you're wondering about how you're going to earn more money and you're feeling really frustrated, you need to please come to tomorrow's podcast because I'm going to bring this amazing lady from London and she's going to teach you how to get past the fear of being marketing. And it's different.
Very
so
different.
I help people say to switch your perspective to not be about you, but to focus on the people you're trying to help. Because the way you then talk and everything, your whole energy in the online marketing and videos shifts and changes. And it becomes more empathetic, more authentic, and less self-conscious.
Exactly. You said it very well. Yeah, that's what it is about. You focus on the person in front of you and get curious about them. So that's what we say to teacher entrepreneurs actually, when they are really nervous because they transition to their new niche. So even though many of them are qualified, like they have teaching qualifications, but they don't know much about their niche. We had one teacher entrepreneur who knew nothing about law, and she was about to teach lawyers how to have better communication skills. So of course she had to learn, but the first lesson, you can never learn enough to feel like really I know it all. So you feel imposter, right? So it was hard. But what we say to those teacher entrepreneurs is that whatever you will do in that session, always focus on your student, on the client in front of you, and whatever it would need to take for you to bring them results, just do it. If you feel like you didn't do your best in one session, just give them even extra time. But make it about them. So if you really care about that student, you will learn whatever you need to learn to deliver. So you don't make it about yourself. Oh, I'm not good enough still. I'm not an expert in my niche, which takes years. Even after 2 years, I didn't feel like I'm expert. There is always things you can learn about your niche. So with that mindset, like, I'm going to help them get their results, get better at English in their workplace.
Pass that test or do well on that interview.
And it's about them then. Then it's not on you. So you're not as self-conscious.
Amen.
Yeah, so... Yeah, you said it.
So what are your top 3 tips for teachers that are listening to this today and they're thinking about earning more money, having more freedom, and not quitting their jobs while doing it? What are the top 3 tips to get started?
Give yourself permission just to try it. With whatever outcome you will get. You may go back to the classroom. You may as well become a successful niche entrepreneur. Just give yourself the permission to try and to experiment and be curious where it's going to take you. That's number 1. Number 2, be ready to embrace the transformation in terms of your mindset and business skills, and kind of don't expect results straight away. So do whatever you can do, what you need to do, be consistent with your action, but don't necessarily expect results today or even tomorrow. The results will come long term, maybe in a few weeks, in some people's cases in a few months, but they will come. But just be patient and just keep investing in these, business strategies and mindset. So that would be number 2, I guess. And number 3, just be always kind of aware or conscious if you are enjoying it and how you feel in that setting. So it's very important because this entrepreneurship is not just about your career, it's about your whole life. Just kind of like just observe how you feel in this setting, how you feel, what needs to be changed, what needs to be improved. So that's what I would say, I guess.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So tell people how they can get in touch with you, Stefy, if they want to hear more, if they want to try out the ebook or 21-day challenge or get a coaching session with you, where do they go?
So we have this ebook that is showing you or teaching you about niche teaching more. And that's something I can share with you and with them. And if they resonate with the principles, what we are showing them about niche teaching, entrepreneurship, and how this can help them transition from their full-time jobs, part-time jobs to this entrepreneurship, then I would say 21-day Teacher Entrepreneur Challenge is the best way to test it, because we literally designed this for teachers who still have full-time jobs, part-time jobs, to test it. How is it for 21 days? It's a challenge. It is intense. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be easy. But they will have a very good understanding of what it is like to be an entrepreneur and what are the first very important steps you need to do to develop your business or to even actually build your business, how to define your niche and how to market yourself and sell yourself, and then how to get your first client, paid client, niche client. So that's the 21-day Teacher Entrepreneur Challenge. But I would recommend, to everyone to read this ebook first, just to see if that's something they resonate with.
Okay, great. I'm going to provide the link for that. Yeah. Our time is up.
Yeah.
Time has gone so quickly. Thank you so much, Stefy V. I feel like you shared a lot of important information and that we asked some important questions. And I'm sure there's teachers that have more questions out there. And I will say to them, if you're listening to this, please contact. I will put your contact information and they can take it up with you. And I hope many people do follow in the footsteps, because I've literally seen how it can change lives.
Thank you.
And make you feel respected, appreciated, and have a better lifestyle. Who doesn't want that?
Yes, exactly. We want teaching to be associated with prestige, respect, and prosperity.
Nice. Should have a t-shirt with that. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Laverne.
If you're still not sure if being a teacher entrepreneur is for you, I suggest you contact Stefy, ask her a question, or join their 21-day challenge. It's all about discovering if it's a right fit for you, answering all the questions you have, and just making you feel comfortable and supported. Contact Stefy or contact myself. Go join our newsletter. I'm always interviewing amazing people. If you'd like to be interviewed, or if you know someone else you think should be interviewed as a woman in business, contact me and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.